Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate the time that you give us just to kind of hang out together and talk all kinds of cool geekdom stuff. So thank you. Well, today it's as I am your co-host, Stephen Boster, along with my other co-host, Mr. Michael Shanks.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land.
Hey, we are continuing our special editions Bad Batch episode reviews. And so with that, let us get started. Let's get it started. Dun, dun, dun. Let's get it started. Dun, dun, dun. All right.
Nice,
I think I sang that poorly enough. We won't get a copyright strike.
Is that how that works? I don't know if that's how that works.
I don't think that's how it works either.
I think you can get in like 30 seconds of a song and still not get a copyright strike. Yeah, you never know. Somebody might just go, no, we didn't give you permission. Who knows?
Look, if we learned anything from our first store with our merchandise.
Oh boy, that's not going to go away, is it?
That's not going to go away. For those who don't know, we had a merch store, our first merch store. We got some copyright strikes, which we still don't know why, which is kind of interesting. They, kind of thing. But so we had to, we got banned, blocked out, we got taken down, kind of a thing.
But we got a new merch store, and I'm wearing one of our new T-shirts, and you're wearing one of our old. Hey, you got one of the collector's edition T-shirts.
Collector's edition T-shirts. That's right. So,
hey, you know what? I got a question. Since this is our first official recording that will go out, since we did a special guest, maybe we can make an announcement on this recording. You think?
Go for it. It fits. It fits.
All right.
Star Wars. Go for it. Go ahead.
So we just recorded with the one, the only Star Wars Shakespeare author, Ian Desher.
Yeah, and it was fabulous.
It was a great interview. It was so much fun. We're not 100% sure when we're going to release the episode, but we wanted to start pushing it now.
Right. Yeah, for those that don't know, if you're catching us for the first time and just happen, I want to hear what they have to say about this episode of Bad Batch, but we record early so we can edit, and then we can, and especially if we have special guests, if there's anything that they don't want us to, if they actually violate a non-disclosure agreement, we edit those just in case. That has happened once, I think, or something to that effect. So we do them later now. But Ian Desher's episode is a little unique that we're not doing it, even though this is, we're in July. I think we're not going to release that probably till September because that's when his new book is coming out. And
we got to talk to his people and confirm when they want it released. But yes,
we're working with the company that he's with.
Quirk Books,
who is also working through, and they're our contact then to go to Lucasfilm, just, kind of a thing. So, Mike, hey, great job on that, by the way, making those connections and stuff.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. This was a good one. You guys are in for a treat when we release that episode.
Yeah, I can't wait to get it released.
Shakespeare, and then his upcoming Marvel Avengers Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. So, all right. Well, with that, anything else you want to add about that?
No, I think that's it. I just wanted to make sure we started pushing it because I want to give.
It was just a great episode.
I want to give Ian some love, so that was good.
Yeah, he was fun. He's fun, dude. For all our geekdom friends, he is a fellow geek.
You ain't kidding. He
really is. And it was just fabulous. It was just a fabulous episode. So, all right, Mike, why don't you introduce which episode of the Bad Batch that we are reviewing. So, as you know, we always go through and we talk Bad Batch, these special ones, because Mike's a big Star Wars fan, and we're like, hey, this would be kind of fun to do episodes for. And we've had ups and downs and sideways with some of our discussions, and this may be another one as we go through the Bad Batch. Star Wars, the Bad Batch. Now, this is, we're over halfway through, right, Mike?
Yes, I believe so. This is episode 10.
Okay, episode 10.
I'm trying to get to Wikipedia.
So because I think you said there was like 16 episodes.
Yeah.
And you guys can correct us if we're wrong, because sometimes, we forget, we're old and we forget, and the details figuring out other things. So,
and I don't have a problem with somebody correcting us. I had a correction on Facebook just yesterday for our Batman episode. I forget what listener. One of our listeners pointed out that I referred to Batman Forever for the Batman costume, and I meant to say Batman Returns. So I appreciate those. If we mess up, we mess up. That's fine.
Yep.
Now,
did you get the episode title yet?
No, I can't find it. I'm terrible. Oh gosh.
It's Common Ground.
Oh, there you go. All right. Good job, Steven.
Thank you. Hey, by the way, the upcoming episode, so next Friday's is called Devil's Deal. The 16th is called Rescue on Ryloth. And then the 23rd is Infested. Just saying.
Now, we should also point out that next week we will not have a Bad Batch episode released. I'm on vacation this week, so next Saturday I'm taking off.
Right.
So we will double up on the following week.
Okay.
And then you're going to be out a couple weeks after that.
I will be traveling both Saturdays. Okay. Yes. But we'll still have some episodes, and we'll figure out what we can do and how we can do that.
Right. Yeah. So in case you're checking here next week and you don't see Bad Batch, that's the reason why. Mike's being a slacker and decided to take off.
And Steven's being a slacker at the end of July.
Right. Right. July is going to be a fun month.
Right. Okay, so episode 10, Common Ground.
Do we get Grumpy Steven back?
Let me put it to you this way. I had to think, and I watched it yesterday. I had to think back. I had to sit there and think, what was the episode about? That's how I feel about this episode. It was one of those, you're not going to remember it as, T-minus 1 day. I totally forgot it. It was total filler episode except for one thing. So that's how I feel about it. But the one thing is interesting, but that one thing, I like how it was introduced, but you could have introduced that. The rest of it was filler. It was another snatch and grab episode. And
I didn't know if we were coming back to these or not. I mean,
I didn't either. We did talk about that where we thought, we're probably done with these now. Well, no.
No.
I was like, come on, we're doing another snatch and grab and stuff. But Grumpy Steven's back. But overall the series has been great. So don't get me wrong. I mean, the series has been good. But this one was like, man.
So I think what I'm hearing you say is after the action that we got in the last 2 episodes and the excitement of Darth Bane. I got Darth Bane on the brain. Right. After the excitement of
Darth Bane. So anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
After the excitement of having Cad Bane, this was sort of a letdown. Is that
sort of?
Oh, okay. See, now I didn't think it was bad. I still thought it was a good episode. It just didn't live up to the last 2 episodes. That's all.
All right. It was 3 out of 5 walkers for me. Okay.
Nice. I like the walkers. That's good. All
right.
I go with the same. I would give it 3 out of 5 too. It didn't have the action and excitement, but I thought there was some good stuff in this
There
episode.
Is good stuff. Maybe my issue is I'm let's move the story along. I think that's my issue. Because I called it a filler episode. I think for me it was the action was good. I like seeing the camaraderie of them in action again. You know, seeing them do that was cool. And I do like the big. They did move the story along in one way, and I'll talk about that.
Well, I think they moved along in two ways, but
okay, all right. Let me hear what you have to say. Go ahead.
Well, let's go ahead and start breaking down the episode. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Wait a minute, you didn't give your score. Oh no, yeah, you did say 3 out of 5.
I said 3. 3 walkers. 3 walkers.
3 out of 5 walkers. Okay.
And I do like those walkers. They're pretty cool looking.
Those walkers were pretty cool.
All right. So give us a breakdown, Steven.
I can't remember the episode. That's my problem.
So, okay, we start off on Ryloth, and we're back with Sid. We're back with Sid. Sid has another mission for the Bad Batch. Mm-hmm. Bad Batch Hunter himself is concerned because they're they're heading out on this, and normally they take Omega with them, but Hunter doesn't want to take Omega because he's concerned with the bounty hunters that are after her. But then again, he's concerned with leaving her on her own too. And Sid's like, I'll watch him. And he says, Sid, I don't trust you either. Which I loved. I thought that was great. And then Sid's response was even better because, like, good, you shouldn't trust me.
Right.
I mean, that just concretes what we said in the past, that you don't really know whose side Sid is actually on. And I think she's open about it, too. It's like, you know what? It's a good thing you don't trust me.
Money. She's like, whatever pays.
Right, exactly. And we find that out in this episode, too.
That is true. Right.
So, I messed up. We're not on Ryloth yet. We go to Ryloth. Sorry. Anyway. So, yeah, Sid and Hunter makes the decision. We're going to leave Omega with Sid. Kind of grudgingly. Begrudgingly. I can't say that. Thank you. And they go ahead and go on the mission. Now we go to Ryloth. Ryloth is a planet that we've actually visited in the Clone Wars. Ahsoka.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Ahsoka went to Ryloth. Man, I can't remember exactly what happened. But yeah, we've been there before in the Clone Wars.
But that's not for a couple more episodes. That's not where we're at now.
No, Ryloth happened. No. Now you're getting me messed up.
I'm all messed up.
We are heading to the planet Ryloth. Ryloth has been in a Clone Wars episode previously.
Right.
So we have seen this planet before.
The planet they're going to now is what?
Ryloth. That's what I said.
Really? Oh, okay. I'm confused.
I'm pretty sure that's the planet they're going to now.
Okay, that's fine.
I messed up at the beginning of the episode, and I said that first, and that's what I said. Anyway. The planet that they're going to, they've been to in the Clone Wars. How's that? Does that help you?
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Anyway, so they go there, and the Empire. This is where I think they're forwarding the story a little bit. Because we're seeing the Empire starting to take control of all these different planets. So the Empire's coming in, and they're telling the senator, hey, you need to go in front of your people, and you need to tell them everything's okay. We're just here to help you out.
Right.
Sounds like big government to me. And the senator at first he's going to go along with it. But then he sticks with his guns, and he tells the people, no, we need to rise up. This is wrong. What they're doing is wrong, and we need to rise up against them. Kudos to the senator. I like that. I thought that was great. Of course, then he gets taken into custody by the clones immediately, So we have that happening over there. And then back on at Sid's place, we find out that Omega is pretty smart at what is the name of the game?
The Chewbacca chess.
And I know we got listeners out there who are going, come on, you got to know the. Oh gosh, I cannot think of the name of that chess game. Anyway, it's the chess game that we've seen all through Star Wars, starting with Chewbacca and R2D2 in Star Wars. Let the Wookiee win.
Right.
Anyway, we find out that Omega is pretty good at that game.
Is it Dejarik?
Dejarik, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
So we find out that...
Hey, everybody, I cheated. I was not smart. I had to Google it.
I knew it, but my brain's getting old, so I forgot. I should have known that. I really should have.
That's okay. There's forgiveness. We're just two dudes hanging out, talking about Star Wars and having people yell at us for forgetting.
That's okay. So Sid, at that point, she goes to make a move, and Omega says, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And Sid's like, what do you know? And then, of course, she loses. And Sid's like, fine. How would you play it? And brings Omega over there. And, of course.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, of course, Megan. Megan.
How would you like to play for money?
Right, money. So Sid's like, oh, okay, you're pretty good at this. You got a talent. Yeah, let's see if we can make some money off that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how Omega immediately starts negotiating with her too, because she's like, well, wait a minute. If I'm going to do this, what's my cut? she's a pretty smart girl. and Sid says 30%, and Omega's like, no, that's not good enough. Try 60%.
Right.
I like her. She's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
and then
we established that she's really good at strategery.
right. So that was another way that the story has moved forward. So yeah, I think we had two elements moving the story forward. We had the development of the Empire really coming in and taking over these different planets. So that was one element, and then we had this element. So, and that's why I said I don't think this was a bad episode. I thought there was some good development in this episode.
I'll give you that.
It just didn't move like the other two. That's all.
Yeah, I guess there's just. I guess I want to get these. I want to know what's going on. It's like the puzzle box stuff. There's all these questions. I'm like, come on, start answering questions. And I guess you are answering the question a little bit more about Omega.
When you put a puzzle together, you start with what? The frame. You start it with the edges.
Says who? No, I'm just kidding. You're right. Yes, you do start with.
Well, you may start your puzzles in the middle, but
that's why they take me so long.
Most people I know start with the edges.
That's right.
And I think that's what we've been doing here. We've been developing the edges of the puzzle and putting that together. And as now we're into the second half of the season, I think we're going to start seeing more of the centerpieces of the puzzle coming into play at this point. And I kind of think that's what we're seeing with, getting the fact that Omega, well, we learned last week that Omega is actually a clone from Jango Fett. We learned that she is Gen 1. So there's something really special about her, and that's why they want her so badly. Now we're learning that she's very good at strategy. So I think we're some of those puzzle pieces are coming into play here. I think that's kind of one of the center puzzle pieces, and then with the Empire coming in and taking over these planets, I think that's one of the edge pieces. Because we're seeing that framework go into place of what the Empire is doing. So I don't know. I thought it was a pretty decent episode. So we got that happening. She's playing Dejarik and waxing some tails, which is pretty darn cool. And then we go back to the Bad Batch, and the Bad Batch is trying to save the senator who was arrested by the clones, which was cool because they meet up with that droid. Which in the Kenner action figures, that would be called the Death Star droid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Mind you, Kenner was working with what they had.
Right.
But when I look at that droid, that's what I see. I see the Death Star droid. So, which is a cool droid. I like that droid. I like the look of it. So we meet her, and I liked her. She was fun. They're tearing through his building and everything, and she's worried about them breaking stuff.
Right.
And we get Hunter. God, I hate droids. Droids. I loved it. I thought that was great. Yeah, Hunter I think it was Hunter. He almost breaks that vase. And she's like, "This is one of the senator's most prized possessions." And Hunter's like rolling his eyes like, "Yeah, whatever. I care less.
Yeah.
It's a vase."
Only for him to use that later on.
Yeah.
Senator himself break it.
Which I had a feeling that was going to happen,
Pretty sure.
So, but yeah, so they do save the senator. They get him, which I like, because then they took over the walker. That was pretty neat. And they're up above, and the droid's like, "How are you going to take over the walker from here?" And they just kind of have this, "Yeah, you just watch us."
Right.
I love their kind of attitude of, "Yeah, these guys ain't nothing. Watch this." and they proved that the four or three of them, it was only three. The three of them, they take on a whole platoon of clone troopers, four of them. I'm sorry, and the clone troopers are nothing to sneeze at. They're not like stormtroopers, they can actually hit things. I had to bring in the old joke. Right. Even though I think that joke's getting very old, but I don't know. The clone troopers are formidable. Let's put it that way. They're good, but they're not as good as the Bad Batch, and the Bad Batch proves that in this episode. And I love them.
Good call.
Yeah. So yeah, there were some good things. They take over the walker, and then I love it when the senator's like, "Go down this street," and they're like, "If we go down that street, that's a dead end," and he's just like, "No, just go down this street."
That's me.
Right. And hey, he lives there.
That Hunter didn't trust him. That was the thing. I think they were feeding into. Hunter had to come to a choice if he was going to trust him or not, because he was a separatist.
Yeah, true.
They've been fighting separatists for the whole Clone Wars.
Right. So yeah, they take him. They go down that alley, and then the walker gets hit by the clone troopers, and it's down and out, and Wrecker blows up the side of the walker, and then they're up against a wall, and then they blow out the wall and get inside the building, and then use the building to escape, which I thought was pretty darn cool. I like that.
And then it made it seem like that they disappeared. They didn't blow out the side of the walker. They had the door on that side.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They blew the wall. Then because they closed the door so that it would take the blast and protect them.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And they left, and then they closed the door. And they're like, "Well, they're gone. They've disappeared." I'm like, "Yeah, until you move the walker and realize that they got out."
Yeah, but it buys them a little bit of time. So
it does. I did enjoy the aspect with the separatist. We gave humanity, not humanity, but what's the word I'm trying to say? Character to the separatists. They're always the bad guys. You know, and they were the bad guys. But here you got a guy who's like, "I really care for my people." We get in two big scenes. We get the beginning where he's like, "No, this is wrong. This is wrong," and then he decides, "No, this occupation is not lawful," kind of a thing.
Exactly.
And then at the end, when he's getting ready to get on the ship to leave, he was very much like, "This is wrong again." And it's like, "I can't leave my people." I was like, "Oh, what's going to happen now?" Kind of a thing. And,
yeah, I almost thought he was going to go back just for a second there.
I did too.
But the droid, I don't remember what the droid's name is, but the droid was the one who said, no, you need to live to fight another day for your people.
Right.
And I thought that was great. It's like, well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, you know. I mean, what he was about to do was noble in itself. You know, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die here with my people. But at the same time, it's like the droid realized, no, because if you die, you can't help them. You know, it's no help to them.
Right.
I mean, even if he becomes a martyr to them, it still isn't really going to help them at that point. You know, so he needs to go. He needs to get out of there so he can come back and fight in a different way.
Yes,
I thought that was excellent. Good stuff there. So
yeah, okay, yeah, that was a good aspect of that character development. I guess if anything, this was a character development film.
Yeah, I think you're right. I would not call this filler. I would not call this filler at all. Because I think there was enough in there was
convincing more and more that it's not filler. Yeah, it was a character.
There episode. Wasn't, you know, this wasn't like a full meat and potatoes type of episode. Maybe a little bit of an appetizer kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can go with that illustration. I can go with that. So we get the character, you know, here we have a separatist. So now we're humanizing separatists, or we're giving them character or depth other than being, I guess we're pulling this again, which seems to be a theme in a lot of stuff in the last several years, has been let's take bad guys and let's help you understand their motivation and what they're doing they think is right. And we had that discussion, I think, with Karen last time and with Karen Traviss, right?
Yep. Because Karen made the observation that certain bad guys, they don't look at themselves as evil. They think they're actually doing the right thing. They're doing a good thing. Now, I wouldn't consider this senator necessarily be evil or bad. No, but he's just been viewed. The separatists have always been viewed as the bad guys, only to realize realistically. I mean, you know, I remember but the separatists were also being controlled the whole war was being controlled by Palpatine.
Both sides.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
He controlled both sides of the war. So, you know, so does that necessarily mean the separatists were bad people? I don't necessarily think so. I think they just had different ideas. And I think what we're seeing here is we're seeing from both the separatist side and the Republic side that they're coming together. You know, not all of them, but some of them are coming together to realize, hey, what's happening here is wrong. You know, we've got an evil empire coming in and taking over us, which we don't want. So we're seeing the coming together of both certain separatists and certain of Republic to form the rebellion is what we're seeing. So more development.
Yeah, I'll give you that with character, especially even with a character with Omega. Gosh,
it's Omega. It's Omega.
It should be Omega.
Alpha, Omega, first, last. Boba Fett, Omega.
Yeah. So I would say that. Okay, I'll give you the fact that it's not filler. I'll give you the based upon your explanation. I like that, where it's like, okay, it's character. We've got a character. We're seeing the aspect of the separatists, which we really haven't seen before. I mean, we got a little bit in the third or episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. You know, where they were on the planet. You got to see where they were all together, and then you know. And then, I mean, we saw them in episode 1, and they were more like nincompoops, you know,
right?
You know, and maybe that was the point, that they were people.
Well, that was Newt Gunray, and you know, oh gosh,
right. And but maybe in this instance, we're starting seeing some of the separatists where they were trying to do what they believed was right for their people, and that's what I got from this guy, from this senator, for this episode. He was really trying to do what he felt was right. And then when the Empire came, it's like, no, wait a minute. No, this is not what we signed up for.
I liked him. I liked him a lot. So, I didn't care if he was a separatist. It made no difference to me. I loved his look, too, because he looked like he walked right out of episode 1, too. That was a good look.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, it was the issue of it was trying to bring up that tension between Hunter and the senator. They were bringing in that tension.
Right.
That, wait a minute, we used to fight you, and now I have to come save you. Kind of a thing. What's up with that? Kind of a thing. But then it became, this is a space western. I got to do whatever pays the bills.
Right, and that's the thing. A bounty hunter. See, that's where you know that he's not full-fledged bounty hunter at this point. Because if Boba Fett is given a hit, he doesn't care which side you're on.
Right.
It makes no difference to Boba Fett. Boba Fett
maybe that's the
care
difference
less.
between bounty hunters. Bounty hunters are all about...
They're all about the money.
Well, they're about the money, but the maybe it's the jobs they take. Bounty hunters are for those who have been bad or illegal, and we can shoot you, by golly. I don't think it matters whether you've been bad or not. Obviously, a bounty hunter will go after anybody, period. It doesn't matter. They don't have allegiances, really. Mm-hmm. Their allegiance is to the guild, to the code, and to the money. Those are their allegiances. Mm-hmm. Now, they might align themselves a little more with the Empire. Chaotic good. Chaotic evil.
Well, and that's because the Empire has more money.
Right.
If the Rebellion had more money, they'd probably align themselves closer with the Rebellion. It's all about the cash with bounty hunters. It's the cash, the code, and the job. That's what it is. It's almost
like you did a good analogy before in a previous episode talking about A-Team, the A-Team.
Oh yeah.
What's their purpose? What's their goal? I think where you have bounty hunters, someone just, hey, I'm dead or alive.
Right.
The old Wild West.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't consider the A-Team. I wouldn't consider them bounty hunters.
Right.
I mean, they supposedly get paid for their job. We never seen them get paid.
Right, we don't know how they got paid or whatever.
Yeah, it's like how do you afford all this stuff? But
and he never saw him have to go to the bathroom. Just saying.
That was always
the bathroom in Mandalorian.
Did you used to watch 24, the TV series 24?
I've seen the first season.
Kiefer. 24 I loved. I absolutely loved 24.
First season was really good. The ending was, oh man, the reveal at the end was kind of goofy.
I don't know. You should watch more of 24. It got better as it went along, but I was a huge fan of 24. And some of us at work would discuss it after each episode, like we would. And that came up. It's like, when do they eat? When do they go to the bathroom? Because it's all in 24 hours. One episode was 1 episode was 1 hour in a 24-hour period, and the season was 24 hours long. And in that time, and I'm like, that's because no one wants to see them go to the bathroom or go get something to eat.
Right. Or the actors have strict rules. Look, I'll do this show for you, but I cannot eat on screen because I have a diet I have to stick to.
Well, that's true, because the minute you eat something on screen and the take is wrong, they have to redo that take, and you have to eat the exact same thing and do it over and over.
I've already eaten 2 pizzas.
Right. So some actor could really mess with another actor.
Have a good time with it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. So, now back to the whole point, though. A-Team.
Oh, sorry.
That's what I see the Bad Batch as. I see the Bad Batch as guys who are not bounty hunters out to kill or anything like that, but they're a different breed of bounty hunter, for lack of a better term. They're going for the job to make a living. Where bounty hunters, I'm sure that's what they're doing. But I think bounty hunters, I've always attributed some bounty hunters, I may have to be careful how I say this, but to be, look, hey, if I get to kill someone in the process, okay, cool beans.
Right, yeah.
They have that mentality.
Well, Boba Fett and Cad Bane, they're both ruthless,
Mm-hmm.
And
maybe that's why I see a difference. And do I really call them bounty hunters now? But they are bounty. So I just see a distinct difference between the two.
I think we saw that when in the one episode where they had to bring back the lizard or whatever it was, and Hunter's like, well, what does the client want with it? And Sid's like, I don't know. Maybe he wants to eat it. I don't care.
Right.
But you can see the mentality between Sid and the mentality between the Bad Batch. They're different. They're not the same. Hunter he cared about what was going to happen to that lizard. And Sid obviously didn't care. All she cared about was the money. That's where her priority is the cash.
I got to make a living.
Yep.
And I can't stop. I need to keep making money so I can make a living.
If he wants to make soup out of that lizard, so be it. I don't care.
There was an old Buck Rogers episode with Gil Gerard and Linda Gray. So,
oh my gosh, you're really showing how old we are now,
right? And this is the one where Coleman, what you talk about, Willis? He was in the show, and he was on this.
Wait a minute, Gary Coleman was in Buck Rogers.
Yeah, he was. Second season, I want to say.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember that. I know I watched that.
So Buck Rogers made chili.
What you talking about, Buck?
Yeah, right. So he made chili, and so all the people around were like, "Oh, this is really good," and they're like, "Well, where did you get the meat?" And it comes out that it came from Coleman's planet. His planet, and it was lizard. It was lizard meat.
Nice.
And they were like, I don't think I want any more now.
But did it taste like chicken?
Right.
Everything tastes like chicken.
Everything tastes like chicken.
Alligator tastes like chicken. I don't know. Kangaroo tastes like chicken.
Alligator tastes like chicken cooked in fish grease.
Really? I've never had alligator.
I've had it. Yeah. There was a big barbecue festival here, and somebody was cooking alligator and all.
Where do you get alligator? Are alligators prominent in Montana?
No, they get shipped.
Okay.
Kind of a thing.
I was like, what the heck? What's going on out there?
Well, yeah. Anyway, so yeah. All right. So, hey.
We got bears running around in the St. Louis area, so.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty freaky, man. There's been some news reports about bears, and I was just told that one of is like a cub, and he had made his way from, I don't know, maybe somewhere up like you guys, and they said that he made his way so far, and then he got hit by a car.
Oh,
yeah. It's like you traveled all that way, and then you just got hit by a car. That sucks.
Speaking of destiny, we need to get back to Bad Batch.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I think that does show, for me personally, I mean, not a whole lot to review.
Well, now, wait a minute. So now we come back.
Right.
Bad Batch is, our team has, they save the senator. They come back, and then they find out what's going on with Sid and Omega. And at first, Hunter is ticked. He doesn't like this. I think that's Daddy coming out in Hunter.
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of funny. Hunter seems like the dad, and then Wrecker's like the crazy uncle.
Yeah.
He's the crazy uncle. Come on, kid, let's go do something goofy. Let's go blow something up.
Right.
He's that one uncle, that the kids all want to play with, but Hunter seems more like the dad type, and Hunter doesn't like all this. Wait a minute, you're using our kid to gamble? What's going on here? And then he finds out that, yeah, Omega made enough to pay off their complete debt. They owe nothing to Sid,
right?
Which makes him happy. And the other thing I wanted to point out was when Hunter shows up, the character that Omega is playing against. Did you see that character? Okay. What race did you think that character was?
Oh, that's Thrawn's race.
Yeah, that's what you would have thought. That's what I would have thought at first. It's not a he's not a Chiss.
Okay.
I don't remember the race's name, but he is the same race of the character that George Lucas played himself.
Which was that?
George Lucas played a character in episode 3. and he was all blue, and he had the yellow markings on his cheek. He looked just like
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep.
I love that movie.
Yeah. George Lucas made an appearance.
Where is he? He's not in the Senate.
It was either episode 1 or episode 3. I forget. But yeah, he plays this blue character.
Okay.
And he is not a Chiss, which is what Thrawn is. Thrawn is a Chiss.
Okay.
So when I first saw him, my first thought went to, oh wow, we have a Chiss. And then later I watched Star Wars Theory.
Okay, Star Wars. Well, I gotta love Star Wars Theory.
Star Wars Theory. Yeah. I'll admit I didn't catch that on my own, so he brought it up, and I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. I like.
Hey! We do research for our shows,
right? Yes, it was research. That's what it was. He did the better research, but. Well, yeah, and I kind of wrote his coattails in.
Right, but hey, you're being honest about it.
Yeah, I'm revealing my source. So yeah, right I give Star Wars Theory. Anyone listening, if you like this, go check out Star Wars Theory. He's amazing.
He's really good.
He does some good work.
Yep.
Okay. So,
then,
are you still grumpy?
Though that last episode, their last scene was then. He says, "Okay, if you beat me, you get to go on all our missions."
Yeah, and then they cut it off. We don't find out. So I guess we'll find out through the rest of the season. If Omega is on all the missions, then we assume that she won the game. Which
it did make me think that some clones have different clones have different embedded information that they're trained with. Or for their training or whatever. That's that's the Bad Batch shows that they're not or maybe that's just him. But he's supposed to have the strategery. I keep saying strategic brain.
Certain ones are for armory. Armory, so on and so forth.
Some are better shooters than others.
Right.
Some are tanks.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
They're the tank themselves. They're a transformer.
More than meets the eye. So, I got to thinking, okay, he has to see everything from all the points of view. I do enjoy the fact that he does seem to. Maybe that's why he kind of wants to know the motivation behind their jobs, because that helps him give a bigger picture so he can plan better.
That makes sense.
Kind of a thing. So when they sat down, I thought, okay, that should be an interesting match, kind of a thing. But we don't get to see it, so that's okay. Maybe that's why I gave it only a 3. No, I'm just kidding.
So I got a question. So we kind of questioned whether we would see Sid again after the last 2 episodes.
We did, and
now that their debt is paid off. Do we still continue with Sid and still get the snatch and grabs, or is Sid done?
All right, so this was episode 10, so it gives us 6 more.
Yeah.
No, I still think we'll see Sid.
Did you say the titles for the next 6 are in there?
I had the next 3 up.
I wonder if those titles give us any clues.
Well, here, I'll go back.
Because sometimes titles mean things.
Right, episode titles. Okay, so we just did Common Ground. So number 11 is Devil's Deal.
Devil's Deal. Ooh, could we get Darth Maul?
I don't know.
That'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind seeing Darth Maul.
Then the next episode 12 is Rescue on Ryloth.
Okay. So
that's what we referenced before. 13 is going to be Infested. And then 14 is War Mantle.
Ooh, that sounds
that's all
good.
we've got. So we don't have the last 2.
So Infested. Huh. Interesting.
Right.
Who knows what that could be? It could be a space battle. I don't know. Huh.
Right.
Interesting.
To say.
Interesting. Okay, well, maybe we can't dig too far into the titles just yet. I don't know.
Right.
But I thought it'd be interesting to look at the titles and see if there's any clues of what's to come.
So Devil's Deal would make me think, oh, they got to do something for Sid. A deal.
Well, that could be too. No, I was kind of thinking the look of Darth Maul is devilish, so maybe there's a possibility because there's been rumors that Darth Maul could make an appearance.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I think at some point we got to have Boba Fett pop in.
I think you're Boba Fett biased.
I am, but Omega is tied to Boba Fett now. She has a tie to him. She is his sister.
No.
You have a sister.
If you will not turn, maybe she will.
No. Oh, sorry.
Darth. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Well, we already have two. Well, technically, we have three ties to Boba Fett. We have Fennec Shan. So we know at this point Fennec Shan has not met Boba Fett, but we know she will. Okay? Mm-hmm. We have Omega, who we've just found out is now related to Boba Fett because she is a direct clone from Jango Fett, which makes her a sister to Boba Fett. Then we have Cad Bane. Cad Bane has connections to Boba Fett because, like I said, we had that unfinished episode of Clone Wars where Cad Bane and Boba Fett had a showdown, and I think we're going to get that. I don't know if we're going to get it in the Bad Batch or we're going to get it live action in the Book of Boba Fett, but I think it's coming.
That'd be cool if it was live action.
Oh man, would you? I want a live action Cad Bane, and I want a live action Cad Bane action figure. Definitely.
Better yet, if they did one of the Hot Toys ones.
I can't afford
Sideshow
that.
Collectibles.
I can't afford that.
I know.
Unless
I have a payment plan. I don't have any.
I don't do those. You should know me better than that. I don't have credit cards either. So,
right, good for you. Okay.
Haven't had a credit card for about 5 years now.
Nice. Well done. Well done. That's a whole nother subject. A whole nother show.
Yeah, we'll have our finance show.
Oh gosh. So so thanks for giving your explanation. I still say 3 out of 5 for me, 3 out of 5 walkers, but I won't call it filler anymore. I will say there were some good character revelations in it, not just the separatists, seeing him with the having a little bit more, care for his people is why he was doing what he was doing.
Right.
But also I think from Omega, she's got a strategic brain and an incredible one at her age.
Sure. Yep.
So it still continues to make you ask questions. Who is she? What are her purpose, or what is her role, or, that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we're getting slow development from her to figure out who she is, really, and what her real role is, what the Kaminoans, long necks,
those
cloners, what the cloners want to do with her, and I still think that could tie a little bit into Mandalorian with Grogu, Baby Yoda, and what they're trying to do with him. I think there might be some kind of connection there. It just sort of seems that way. And I agree. I like the development of the Senator. I like seeing where his true heart was. I like that it was for the people. That was, we the people. As my hat says, we the people. I like that. I like the reveal of Omega's strategic mind. I thought that was good. And I like the building of the Empire, seeing the Empire taking control. We're just seeing that whole Star Wars is falling into place. Star Wars: A New Hope is falling into place, and that's kind of my favorite area of Star Wars because that's what I grew up with. So I enjoy seeing that get developed and put into place. So, so yeah, I agree. I do not think this was a filler episode. It was not action packed. There was some action. Yeah. Just not compared to the last 2 episodes. That's all. Episodes. So okay. I would still remain with 3 of 5, but I don't think 3 is a bad number.
It's not a lonely number either.
I love it. Our Gen Z brains. Yes.
That's awesome. Right. That's crazy. All right. Well, with that, anything else that you want to bring up about this episode?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. I think we got this one.
Cool. All right. Well, hey everybody, thanks for listening in. Go ahead, go on Facebook, post your comments. Are we right? Are we wrong? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Steven, you're full of something. Or, Mike, yeah, hoorah, you got that right. Let us know. I'd love to hear
Mike, how could you not know the name of Dejarik? What's wrong with you?
That's probably what's going to come up.
How do you call yourself a Star Wars? You're not a real Star Wars fan.
I forgot it. Steven doesn't count because he cheated. So,
go ahead. Give me the comic book guy. Go ahead. That's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
All right. Well, with that, everybody, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. We do want to hear from you. Don't forget to check out our website, 2geeksmike.com, which is our portal to all things 2 Geeks Mike, which then goes to all of our Facebook page, directly to the Facebook page, our Ko-fi page, and Twitter and the whole bit. So, where we're at right now. So we just keep on adding.
All right. With that said, over and out, and may the Force be with you. Thank you for joining us today on the 2 Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the Force be with you.